pull up the
We're live.
yay!
Hey.
I
Hello,
will
everybody. It's your best
I,
friend.
I will set
It's
the scene 'cause
just
we're at
Orlando
my
Dino.
haven. Um,
He's not
can
anybody's
you?
friend.
He's my friend.
He's
Can
live.
you pull up? Can you pull up the picture of the house, please? Please, please,
I'm having
please.
to. I'm having to re-download them.
That's okay. The outside, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, it takes. Yeah, the scene does not take place during the day, contrary to popular content. Popular. Blah 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 blah. That word.
Anyways,
Those are words.
good
So
morning.
yeah,
Good
the picture
morning.
looks
Good
like it's during
afternoon.
the day.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome to another scene for the Vampire the Masquerade venue of Darkness in Dublin. Um, while we wait for our seneschal to pull up a picture, um, we are meeting at Charlotte Monroe's house yet again. We seem to be frequenting this place as of late. That's that's perfectly fine. So this is the house in which Charlotte resides. It is her haven. It's a rather lovely house, 3 stories, a wraparound porch, an iron gate that surrounds the property. There's lots of foliage, lots of plants, trees, bushes of flowers, etc. Um, for those of you who have been here before, you know what this place is like. There is a driveway where Francis can either park his car or he can be dropped off on the sidewalk. You will see he will see a car parked in the driveway. Is he arriving? Somebody dropping him off, or is he driving himself?
Francis is driving personally.
Okay, so he can park in the driveway if he so chooses. Um, so entering the house, a man will greet you, say Francis Beaumont, etc. Normal introductions. Um, Charlotte will receive you in the library, which is the picture you currently have up. She's dressed in a very nice, very form-fitting black dress. She's wearing stockings and heels, and her hair is up in something of a French twist. She's dressed as she normally is. Um, the library is as it seems in the picture. There's several couches to sit down upon. There's several bookshelves. Um, Something that you will notice that she has is a perhaps something akin to a water bath for warming things up, perhaps. Sitting on top of what looks to be a side table or a stand of some kind. And she will say, "Can I offer you a drink?"
Why, yes, I'd love one. Thank you very much.
Do you have any particular preferences?
Surprise me.
Okay. Um, in which case, she will pull out, she opens what seems to be a refrigerator with stacks of blood bags in it. Um, she pulls two from the right side. There's 2 stacks of bags. There's one on the left, one on the right. The one on the right, if you look, um, has a red splash or mark on the bag, and she places them both into the water bath, and she'll stand there for several moments until they're warmed up, and she will pour them into very nice crystal glasses and bring you one. And she will actually sit next to you, not across from you.
You'll wrap her arm around dear Charlotte.
She smirks at him. I do hope you like something spiked.
What she said?
She says, I do hope you like something spiked, as she takes a sip of her blood.
I don't mind a bit of adventure. In fact, I'm quite fond of it. He'll take a bit of a sip. Was it taste like? What's in the drink? Nonsense taste.
It's blood that was taken from somebody who had been drinking. Probably, and in the blood, it it is mixed with alcohol. It has probably really nice whiskey in it, maybe single malt scotch, something like that. It's very smooth going down.
Hmm.
To what do I owe the pleasure this evening?
Bit of catching up, as well as a bit of business on the side. But I mean, whatever is business, not a concern for our people.
Of course.
So I was wondering how you're doing, first of all.
I've had better evenings, I would say. That little bit of theater with that that shadow the other evening was misplaced anger, and well, I paid for it.
Oh, and myself and your primogen.
Yeah, well, I've already told our primogen that should she wish to place that boon on my head, I would gladly accept it, as it was my fault. But uh, Amboise is certainly more amenable to me as of late. She gives Francis a knowing look.
At the price of everybody knowing about it.
Unfortunately, that did get a little bit ahead of me, but I do believe in taking responsibility for one's actions.
Well, you not only broke the traditions, you broke the promise, and you did both tactlessly.
I do understand. Because of the breaking of domain, I now owe Florent de Medici 2 major boons.
Yes.
A fair price, I would say. A very fair price.
Oh, we got rinsed.
Almost generous.
It wasn't generous. We got rinsed. Neither myself nor the primogen should have had to pay a boon.
I
Well,
agree.
primogen, perhaps, but not me.
I do agree.
The primogen. I may have to have a word with her at some point about something. That's neither here nor there. You will not do that again.
No, I won't.
Do not consider it again, because frankly, you've shown you cannot do so with tact or subtlety.
There have been times where I have been far more tactful in my approach to things, but I do not appreciate, nor do I enjoy owing someone for no reason. And Ambrose has paid his price for it.
Of course, Ambrose slighted the clan. His punishment is well earned. Particularly as a kindred of that particular caliber of blood.
Affiliation, perhaps.
Well, perhaps that is unfair. I've already met reputable La Sombra anti-trib within the domain.
Oh, well, I have not, so my knowledge on the matter is very limited.
It's rather ironic, really. You and Ambrose are very much alike and possess largely the same flaws.
Well, I'm sure we make quite the pair then.
Pardon?
I said, or she says, well, I'm sure we make quite the pair then.
I don't know, does that mean you're going to magnify the problems that are being caused within the domain? Because if so, that's not going
No.
to be something I'm
No,
going to tolerate.
absolutely not.
Good, good.
Well, Ambrose and I surely share many flaws. I'm sure we do not share those flaws.
You're both too eager to please and too opportunistic. There is a balancing act to be played. Jumping on every opportunity, particularly publicly, well, we have seen it from other kindred within the domain. It diminishes one's reputation, causes one to appear duplicitous or craven, and is not an image you want.
Yes, because if I create that image for myself, it reflects poorly on the rest of us.
Good faith is important to our society. It's how we can trust that debts and boons will be repaid. If you carry the image of a duplicitous traitor, then people will not help you. They will not risk owing you boons.
Of course.
Or rather, they will not risk having you owe them boons, rather, because they will not trust you to repay them. And your standing among the Camarilla in general will diminish. It is a spiral for one who does not owe boons and has few, if any, boons owed to them is viewed as untrustworthy.
I do appreciate you sharing your wisdom with me on this.
I'm going to check Aura, because he's being pretty hard on her, and that doesn't sound particularly... You'd be surprised if she actually felt that way.
I'm not gonna do colors because I can't have the chart up right now.
I mean, I think you should do colors.
I mean, I can try to do colors. Can you copy paste them to me in the Facebook chat?
So let me get them up. Dark Ages, don't need that. Standard. There you go. Oh wow! It literally starts me on the page of the colors. This book knows me. This book understands me. Thank you, book. You're lovely. Okay, I just need to. No, fuck.
Everybody's like talking at once. It's very distracting.
Well, yeah, then stop it. Stop bullying. Okay, here's the thing. He's gonna check your aura. He's gonna do what he does best.
Okay.
Really, this all depends on how many ones I get. Hulu. 5 successes because I'm vote Hulu. Get wrecked. Yeah, so he basically he identifies mixtures of color and patterns. So he sees everything basically.
Okay, can you copy paste them for me in our Facebook chat between you and I, please?
Oh yeah, because you can't see the Google chat. That's right.
Yes, because I can't see it. Because if I do try to see it, the call will drop. Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, so um there's definitely some brown um mixed with light blue. Um the aura is scrambled. There's a lot of static. Um and so it's brown, light blue, a little bit of orange, um probably um um yeah, I think um so it's going to be brown, light blue, a little bit of dark blue, and it's definitely scrambled.
Okay.
She takes another sip of her drink. And she actually kind of settles into the couch a little bit to make herself more comfortable.
Mm.
And so I think her aura will shift again to was it light blue for calm? Yeah.
Yeah. I believe you can do better than this.
And I think a lot of the stresses of uh, living in a new city are perhaps taking its toll on me, and I do to watch what moves I make.
Don't make excuses. I almost died half a dozen times here, and I'm the senator. I was the sheriff within a month. And if I can do that, you can pull off something similar.
Of course. Oh look, it's an Evan. Show Evan my house, Francis.
Good.
Hi,
Look at a nice
Evan.
house, Evan. Look at a nice house. Hey, look at a
Yay,
house.
nice house.
I can fuck off. I apologize if I just ruined your existence.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
I'm just being jury for dramatic effect. It's fine.
Okay.
Um,
You are you aware that recent affairs have caused the Tremere to seek your death?
yes, they have. And I'm sure you can figure out why I chose Amboise as my target.
You should be careful of hostage situations.
It wasn't necessarily a hostage situation as much as it was simply a matter of insurance on my part.
He kind of looks at you with flat eyes and just says, I will admit that is a very elegant way of saying hostage.
Hostage is very churlish. I would, of course, have allowed him to walk free and do as he will, but should the situation arise in which action was taken against me by Miss Von Essen, well, that I don't believe. I think she would have thought better of it.
Catcher will care, but do you believe the rest of the Tremere will?
Not necessarily, but I do believe that with Miss Von Essen's presence in this city, they will simply convince her that it is in her best interest to do such a thing.
I suppose that depends on the powers involved.
Of course.
I would not place too much stock in Catcher's authority. I respect her authority, but the Tremere tend to operate on their own hierarchy.
Of course, I do understand that. I was simply, as I said, a simple matter of insurance.
It's not a bad plan, just not foolproof.
When is a plan ever foolproof?
That is fair. As I said, I don't think a plan is necessarily bad. It makes a lot of sense. I understand the logic behind it. It works.
When is it that a life is worth the life of another?
Who said that?
I'm looking around my house because this is not okay.
Well, at least it's not my house this time, Francis says.
There was someone Francis was looking for.
Oh.
He came here for a specific reason.
Now I feel bad.
For the record, does Charlotte have any house pets? Like a cat or anything?
No, I don't keep pets.
Okay. You will notice that there's a collection of cats outside the window who are just looking in, kind of like, pet me now.
Yeah, I don't keep pets because I'm a vampire, and that just doesn't work.
Unless you have animalism.
I don't have animalism.
Sounds like you need some animalism.
I mean, if cats hiss at me, I just hiss back.
But this figure, he's sitting in one of your chairs, and in one of your armchairs. Obviously, he doesn't have the wings.
I will promptly stand up and look at him. Is he in the angelic form?
No.
Okay, good.
He just looked. He is once again dressed as he's shown, but obviously he doesn't have the wings, and he's not wearing the crown.
And to what do we owe the pleasure?
You're here.
Yes.
You're here. Why are you here?
For two reasons. One, because Mr. Beaumont wished to speak with me. And also because I came to forgive you.
You came to forgive me.
He nods his head once.
For what? And you, Francis, will see her eyes narrow and her eyebrows furrow.
In my attempt to fill you with hope, I merely made you skeptical. In my attempt to show you a better path, I merely showed you the inner doubt that plagues you. In my attempt to bring out the best in you, I inadvertently brought out the worst. This is my fault, and this is my sin. And for that, I must apologize.
Are you responsible for the way others behave? Are you responsible for the reactions that other people have towards your existence.
People will always hate. It is an unfortunate condition of the human being. Because it is that they have the right to form their opinions, they have the right to form their beliefs, they have the
See,
right.
that's the thing, is I don't hate you.
No. But for placing my life and the lives of others in jeopardy, I forgive you. I merely hope that you may come to one day deem hope necessary, a hope that is larger than yourself.
Um, she'll stand there actually for a moment, uh, and she looks up at um, at her ceiling, and
That's enough.
if Francis looks close enough, you'll actually see tears in her eyes. Um, and
Oh,
she actually gulps and fights it back. Takes a deep breath that she doesn't need to take because it's kind of become reflexive for her at this point. Um, but she'll look at Morpheus and say, I had hope once. I had hope of a better life for myself, better than anything I had ever known as a child, better than anything I could have ever hoped for as a young woman. I had hope for so much more than what I had because hope is what kept me going for so long. Hope of bettering myself, obtaining the life that I wished to have for myself.
Hope can never die.
Do you
It
know
can.
what hope got
Hmm?
me?
Hmm.
It got me this. And she just kind of motions to the length of herself.
Hope can never truly die. It can
Yes,
merely be misplaced.
yes, but hope killed me. Don't
No,
get me don't get me wrong.
hope,
I
di- hope didn't kill you. The fact of the matter is that death and death are not the same things. You now walk in eternal night. However, that does not mean that this is the end. You are more than you are. You are greater than the sum of your parts, the sum of your birth. However, you ultimately now have the chance in this time you have been given, this long span of time that goes on until there is no more tomorrows, to do good in this world. You have the opportunity to be what you have always wanted. In a manner of speaking, you have been given the abilities that you always sought, the life that you always wanted. Just because it is not in the manner that you would have wished, or not in the not given to you on the plate you would have wished for, does not diminish what it is.
Charlotte, she just nods and sits back down onto the couch. She'll kick her shoes off, and is Frances still reading her aura?
yes.
Um, because she's home, she switches to, I would say, probably silver a little bit. It's silver, white, and yellow.
Oh,
Oh, oh.
And um, she'll put her feet and her legs up onto the couch, and she kind of huddles up in the corner of it, and she stares at Francis, and she she's actually going to read his aura. Well, one of you roll me 3 dice. I'm gonna burn a willpower.
You're really bad at this.
I know. I'm gonna during downtime. I need to put some into empathy or perception.
Aww,
Really bad.
those are nice colors.
What would Francis? I think.
I'll look for you. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty 5. I am burning a willpower, so I will know that he's a vampire at the very least. At the very
I'll
least.
at least know that you are in fact a kindred.
You have a total of 3 successes with the willpower spent.
Okay.
Can recognize the color patterns. Okay, so you basically see his colors, just not how they're sort of interacting with each other. Or no, it's more like you don't see how they're shifting.
I should roll
how they're
Morpheus.
mixing.
I should roll Morpheus' aura perception.
Yeah.
Based on his hilarious empathy score.
Francis is a lot of colors right now.
That's 15 successes.
Holy shit.
I shrug. I can only shrug.
I mean, does Morpheus want to know what Charlotte's thinking?
It's almost like this is a clan discipline for him.
Yeah. So Francis is who? He let's see. His aura is scrambled, so he's quite anxious. He is conservative, yet quite happy to see Morpheus. It shows in his aura like this, like it's kind of a sudden. It's not a burst of vermilion. It's kind of like a vermilion that sort of seeps in. It's very apparent he's processing. This is for Morpheus, by the way. Because you get less information because he got a fifth of his successes. He's also has pinpricks of gold. He's a very secular person, so the fact that he has any spirituality at all is quite telling.
Interesting.
And he would feel a bit more of pink and also a little bit of silver around Morpheus because now he feels a bit guilty about talking about the blood bond in such a blasé fashion around him.
It's literally like you're having a come to Jesus moment.
It's
I mean, kind
I
of.
mean, he might be the Messiah. There is a fair chance that he may be.
Either that or he has a Tremere snack.
Or he's not. But yeah, that's what Francis feels. Charlotte, you understand that right now he's largely a mixture of vermilion and a mixture of vermilion, pinpricks of spirituality, so pinpricks of gold, a little bit conservative, cautious. You're not sure why. Maybe that's just his default state as a person, or maybe he just doesn't handle being snuck up on very well.
Right. Okay.
You were looking for me, or rather, you did something that was unlike you, Mr. Beaumont. Why is it that you were looking for me? I never truly left.
To be honest, you never seem the person to leave, no.
Mr. Hennessy made his point quite clear that I could not stay in the church where I was habiting, but I could not leave. My work is still here.
I'm not really sure how to go about asking this, so
Honesty is always the best first step.
Charlotte does something probably unexpected, and she'll stand up and she'll walk over to the salubri and she'll just say, "Where are my manners? May I offer you a drink?"
No, thank you.
Where?
You know what? Because Charlotte's had a hell of a time, Charlotte gets a hug.
Charlotte cries. Charlotte starts crying.
He's a hugger.
I'm also going to roll self-control willpower because this guy's how much appearance does he have?
Ironically, he is dumbing it down because he knows it might make you uncomfortable.
Oh, fair enough.
At the moment, he is only a 5.
Still, pseudo-angelic being.
Yep, you've seen him when he is in his full awe, which is 8.
Yep.
But you can tell he's using obfuscate to actively dull down his own appearance, and you'd assume he's doing it to make you feel comfortable.
Aww.
Charlotte will actually
And
she'll hug
Charlotte, of
him.
course.
She'll actually hug him back, and she just says, "I'm so sorry."
No, you did what you thought that you must. I have forgiven you. There is nothing more to forgive.
And Charlotte will actually break the hug and go sit back down on the couch next to her.
This is what Humanity 10 looks like, kids. That's all. But he looks at Francis and he says, please.
Aisha's broken every seal. And pardon, what does he say?
He just said, like he was thinking.
And he started a ritual, and we have about 72 hours before the world ends. I would really like you to help me stop him.
I'm going to roll a pool to see if he can answer, or to see if he knows something. He definitely knows something. He raises an eyebrow and he says, the 7 seals broken, the 7 gates unlocked. It was as it was written a very long time ago, in a language that no longer is of this world, in a place that is no longer a place.
Is that bloodline the one that was of Cappadocius?
Cappadocius wrote in his madness, when he was broken, pages written in blood upon human skin, of 7 doors and 7 keys, 7 seals to 7 locks, in a very ancient book, a book that has been lost and found, much like I, in a city that is no longer a city, in a place that is no longer a place.
What is the book?
It truly doesn't have a name.
What do people call it?
You can see him thinking, like he seems to contemplate that for a very long, like 20 seconds. I do not know what the book is called. However, I know what this ritual is called. In the book, it is simply referred to as the anointing.
Francis kind of feels a chill run down his spine.
The book has been lost and found and lost again, a dozen times by a dozen hands, through a dozen times.
Question: can I make an occult check?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's kind of out of our league, I think.
I mean,
Do you have a Colt 7?
no. I was honestly just kind of like a shot in the dark with it, really.
No, this is.
Okay.
To be fair, this is out of the league of this is out of the league of most vampires, unless you're something truly ancient, like Mithras levels of ancient, or Morpheus, who's older.
No.
You know.
Yeah. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna ask because
It's fine.
It's fine. You got it.
The ritual is called the anointing.
Mm.
If we get the book, will it stop the ritual?
No. The ritual has already been activated. It now ticks down. There is only one way the final door can be closed. If the final door opens.
Ow.
The sacrifice of the truest heart.
So even if we manage to slay Aishar, the ritual will continue without him.
If he has done what he has done, he is no longer a being who can simply be slain. Empowered as he is by dark creatures darker than black, then if the door closes and he is robbed of his powers, he may yet die. But if the doors all open, well, midnight has come.
Not yet.
Not yet. We'll break the clock before it ever strikes midnight.
And what is it that you would have me do, Francis Beaumont?
I think he kind of stops for a second. All of us who will enter that fight, because that's what it will be. Whatever the justification or context, we're going to be concerned with taking life. We're going to want to kill Aisha because that's what we believe we must do to prevent the world from ending. I think, and this is a hard thing for me to ask because, truth be told, I don't really care about Aisha. I hate him. But I think you're the only person that could actually help him. Because I can't, I don't think any of us can outside of you. And even if he were to die, and his soul is forfeit to what he did to himself, to what he made his pacts with.
Charlotte.
I don't know. Sorry,
That's okay. Go ahead.
I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm not. But while we can kill him, I think only you can save him.
Do you want to roll me a charisma expression roll?
Yeah, I'll spend willpower because, goddamn.
Because the roleplay was so good there, I'm going to give it to you at difficulty 7. It was going to be difficulty 9. Because you're trying to convince him to do what he could ostensibly view as a violent act. But the roleplay was so good.
Charlotte will actually take a turn at this.
Is this with enchanting voice, by the way?
Big Red?
Is this with enchanting voice or not?
No, this is without enchanting voice. You rock your enchanting voice, sir.
Okay, nice. I get 3 successes for spend willpower.
Alright. So, Charlotte, would you like to take a crack at it?
Yes, I would. I've actually been kind of contemplating what I was going to say. Charlotte will. She'll lean forward. Actually, no. Charlotte gets up. She picks up a chair, and she sets it down in front of Morpheus to look directly at him because she wants to be close to him when she says this. And she'll look down for a moment like she's, I suppose, preparing herself. And she'll look up at Morpheus and she will say, when how the seventh seal was broken, it was caused by me. It was something that I did. It was foolish, yes. I wanted to protect the world. I wanted to keep the world safe for everyone and everything that lives in it. My exact words were, and she'll repeat what her exact words were. It was an act of hubris on my part, but it was also an act of hope. It was an act of wanting something better for the world. Holding humanity in high regard is something that I have in me. Holding the world in high regard is something I have in me. And I know that it's something that you have in you. You said so yourself. You have hope in you. You have forgiveness in you. You have something inside of you that so many of us have lost because we lost hope, because we lost that spark in our chest that drove us to want something better. Ishar doesn't have that anymore. He lost his love. He wants he wants her back, and I can understand that. Not from not for a lover, but because I lost a child. I lost my mother. And so for the hope that you have within you, for who you are, for something that you have maintained for so long. Charlotte actually, she looks at him with tears in her eyes and she just says, "Please help us."
Francis, you'll notice something really interesting. Roll me your charisma expression.
Okay.
No. Sorry, not Francis. Sorry, Charlotte, roll me your charisma expression. What you notice, Francis, is vampires would normally cry tears of blood. Hers are entirely crystal clear.
It's 5 dice. I'll burn another willpower. I'm down to 3.
So, Francis, just in case you found that interesting.
And I do have enchanting voice.
So it'll be the exact same difficulty as Francis. All right, you get a total of 3 successes as well.
Actually, do you have any 10s?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a charisma specialty, graceful.
I'll let that apply. So that's a total of 4 successes.
Including the willpower?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's 7 total.
Morpheus will look between the two of you and he will say, "Call upon me when you need me, and I will pray with him. That is all I can promise."
That's all I could ever ask you to do.
That's all either of us could ever ask you to do. Thank you.
What you say is lost is never lost. It is merely waiting for you to reach out your hand to grasp it once again, for you to reignite a candle. The candle itself is never gone. All you need do is have the will to once again walk in its light. That is a capability all of us have.
Charlotte will actually, when she feels the tears running down her face, she'll touch them to kind of dab them off of her face, and she'll look at her hand.
What does her aura look like? Does it look bright or is it still vampiric?
Her aura does no longer detect as a vampire.
Okay.
And she looks at the tears that are coming off of her face, and she.
For the record, I will point out for what was I going to say for Charlotte, neither does Francis's.
His tears aren't.
No. His aura doesn't detect as vampiric.
Pretty obvious why. But she does look surprised when the tears aren't blood.
If I go there, if I walk into that place, it will be my ending. but I will happily meet it there.
Oh, that makes Francis stop.
As he says this, you see his third eye open, and it glows. It's almost like he's seeing something with his third eye.
That startles Charlotte a little bit because she's really not used to that. She'll look at Francis with a questioning look on her face.
Hasn't seemed fair. He just woke up. Give it a couple of centuries. He says that, by the way. It's a bit wry.
If if Morpheus will allow me to, I'd like to take his hands in mine.
Yeah.
And
His two human eyes are still closed. It's only the glowing golden eye that's still open.
and she'll just ask, "What do you see?"
If I walk into that shadow, I will not come back. And that is the price. It is a good price. It is a fair price.
Francis very clearly seems to think that it's not. It's kind of written all over his face. That makes him feel extremely uncomfortable and kind of frustrated. More frustrated, oddly enough.
What does his aura look like?
Oh, deep red. No, I mean red isn't angry. Kind of purple as well. He's very frustrated. You can tell in the color pattern.
Charlotte raises an eyebrow at him. What is it?
Francis?
He's kind of finding his words.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like a fair price to me for one that has so much more to offer the world, has to give it up for those who have a lot less to give.
I won't deny that.
No. I have no more to give than anyone else. Age is a number. Wisdom is not gained through crying tears or swearing oaths through battles won or lost. It is gained through listening. We all can teach the world something great. My father has finally called me home. It has been so long. He smiles. I have seen the world built, destroyed, built, destroyed, and now changed in a way I never thought it would be. I do not mind this price. Many people would view death as the end. I merely see it as finally getting to sleep after a long, long life.
Charlotte will actually. There's. If Francis is reading her aura still, it shifts to something new. It is nothing but compassion. She will stand up. She will place her hands on either side of Morpheus's face and have him look at her.
His eyes will open.
She just smiles and kind of touches his face, very like a mother kind of comforting their child a little bit. She hugs him again, tighter this time. She lets go, and she simply kisses his forehead.
Above the eye, I would assume.
Of course, of course, of course. But yeah, she will, she'll keep, kind of. He's probably very relaxed already, considering his nature, but she's trying to offer him some comfort at the realization that this potentially could happen to him.
He then says something that is very perplexing, and the wording of it's quite important. So I will let you just let you know in advance. He says his head kind of snaps to the left, like he heard something. For a brief second, Francis, you see an ephemeral presence, but it's only there for a split second. You could almost swear you could see a hand on his shoulder, as if a being was whispering in his ear.
Yeah, Francis's eyes kind of his head doesn't move, but his eyes snap to where the hand was.
And you see a single blood tear fall down. It is definitely a blood tear. I will say this right now. Fall from his left eye, the eye facing you, not his third eye, not his right eye, his left eye, as he will simply say, "The will of my Father be done, for it is that we shall be the Lamb."
Charlotte will wipe away the tear.
Francis has heard that somewhere before.
You heard.
I'm sure he heard the exact line, but he's definitely heard the term.
Yeah, no, you've heard pretty much the exact line. It was shouted at Michael Brightman by Michael Brightman at Bahariel, and it caused Bahariel to be able to. It was so potent that it caused Bahariel to be able to break his blood bond temporarily. When he spoke about something very important, let's phrase it like that. But there was definitely the presence was there only so briefly. It was a flicker, and then it was gone.
This will actually cause Francis to get up. Are you okay? Who was that?
He contemplates for a moment, and he will say, that was the realization of hope. And he smiles. Call on me when it is you require me, and I will be there.
Okay.
He looks to you and he says,
To which one of us?
To both of you.
Mm-hmm.
He says the following: "No, you are made to be unmade. You are the white lamb, the gentle sacrifice. You are the greatest part of the bounty of Cain, and on your shoulders shall be the greatest sin. For alone amongst the children of Cain, I have asked the one above forgiveness, and I have been visited by the worst of the ones below, demons, the snakes by whom which sleep and bite my sleeping form, those foul worms who sucketh of my blood. I learned from them to take the blackness from the blood, the wounds from the flesh, the evil from the soul, and though I may die, you, my childer, will live on. Open thy eye and see the world truly, and know that you do now goes on to heal another generation. And with that, he will simply no longer be seated in his chair.
Charlotte collapses to the floor.
You heard nearly that entire spiel once before, Francis, and it was from Dr. Brightman.
Yeah, that was an excerpt.
Mm-hmm.
Who could have said that? Who could have been there? Come on.
You could always ask Bahariel why it meant so much to him.
I think I will later, but right now, Morpheus has vanished, and there is a collapsed Charlotte. So,
but he has said he will help you.
Mm-hmm.
Sad, Charlotte.
Yes, Charlotte. Sad, very, very sad, Charlotte.
He will. Francis will. Very. He's quite slow. He sort of crouches the ground towards you, and will just kind of tenderly take your shoulders. He gauges. It's rather he's sort of trying to gauge if you want to be left alone or if you kind of want the support.
So there's this thing about Charlotte that Francis might have only witnessed a single time. She doesn't really like it when people put their hands on her, I guess you could say, unless she wants them to. Normally, she, I'm sure he's seen Charlotte with Fleur before, and so they're very. She comforts Charlotte a lot. You've noticed, and
Who comforts Charlotte a lot? Sorry.
Fleur
Yeah.
does. And so normally, like when Whisper tossed her across the ballroom, she got pissed because she doesn't know Whisper at all, and Whisper tossed her across the ballroom. Yeah, that's just not a thing that Charlotte likes to have happen. But when Francis touches her, she lets him. I don't think that he's ever tried to comfort her or anything like that before, but she lets him. And she'll look up at Francis and she looks very, I suppose, childlike in a lot of ways. Despite the fact that she is, as you probably know, she's an Ensela, but there's seems to be this part of her that kind of revealed itself that, like, in her eyes there is an innocence and feeling of loss, almost like, I suppose one could say she feels very human right now, and because of her background, she did experience a lot of loss of innocence, and with her exchange with Morpheus, she feels like she could empathize with that a bit. because it seems like in a lot of ways he's lost his innocence as well, but has managed to regain it somehow. And she'll just um, she'll just look up at Francis and kind of give a soft smile. She doesn't necessarily want to appear weak in front of the seneschal, but there is this unmistakable look of innocence in her eyes.
Yeah. Also, are her tears bloody, or are they still clear?
When he's gone, they revert, and you will also, once again, she'll start pinging as a vampire doors. Like,
Okay. The pronounced change is noted for later, but isn't relevant right now, so he largely ignores it. Yeah, he just comforts her for a little bit before slowly helping her back up to her feet and guiding her towards the sofa.
Yeah, and she gets up and she goes and sits down on the sofa. And she actually had some of her drink left, and she knocks it back, like finishes it in like one drink.
Hmm. And something perhaps to note about Francis is that when he is upset, he's almost the inverse of Charlotte in rather than getting very bleary and miserable and teary-eyed. His one is more muted.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't cry, but he looks extraordinarily tense.
Okay.
Reading his aura reveals that he's oh, 1 second. He's probably panicking and is extremely frustrated and angry.
She'll just look at him and say, "Are you gonna be all right?"
I'm no longer in a position to worry for myself.
I understand.
I've been told I was never good at it.
I would appreciate it if you would keep my personal information to yourself.
It was always a given.
Thank you. Was that the business that you wished to discuss?
No.
She'll give a light chuckle. I guess you can kind of tell that talking about something else helps distract her from what she's feeling right now.
I actually feel somewhat bad discussing it now, as it's
Really, probably not the best time to be talking about it.
no, it's a bit manipulative. Ultimately takes a very
You muted yourself.
ultimately takes a very cruel figure out of this domain, but it's not appropriate to discuss right now at the very least.
out of character, I'm curious, who do you mean?
So Francis was going to discuss with Charlotte the potential of manipulating some kindred into forming a little coterie that's not a coterie to maybe deal with Spectre for him.
To deal with what now?
Spectre. But yeah, that's what he was going to do. But he's not.
I'm not sure I know who Spectre is.
That's fine. But don't worry, Francis will inform you when it comes to that.
Okay, we can do another scene for that later, maybe.
You're probably on his hit list now.
That's
That's not even
comforting.
an unreasonable assumption. I feel like has a fair degree of accuracy to it, to be honest.
That's comforting. Thank you.
See, now you've got even more people who want to kill you.
Yay!
Yay!
Woohoo!
All right. It involves things that I don't think Morpheus would. Well,
Yes, perhaps another time, maybe. You are welcome here again, of course.
of course. And your formalities, I don't care.
So I don't speak to you between more of as a formality, but more as a
I think it's fair to say feelings mutual.
out of character. When you say the feelings mutual, what do you mean? Just for like the sake of elaboration.
Oh, she's welcome in his domain.
Okay.
At least to be there, not necessarily to feed there. But we can touch on that elephant in the room if she decides to feed there.
She's very satisfied with feeding at home. It's okay.
It just involved dealing with a Sabbat in such a way that it doesn't invite more bloodshed upon those close to me.
Okay. I suppose that speaking about it at a later date would probably be best. If we all live, that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get you anything? I'm rather tired.
No, but if you're don't fall into torpor just yet, you'll miss the party at the end of the world.
Oh no.
Sort of a once in a millennium event.
I'm actually supposed to be running security for our dear Katrina. Yeah.
I wonder how.
I'm sorry?
I was just curious as to how well you could actually fight.
Do you want to know stats?
No. That's Francis says that.
Oh, well, I did take down a Simichi in war form after a single hit. And she just kind of beams at you when she says that. Like she's proud that she did that.
All right.
She's not actually lying.
That is the thing that Charlotte
she's
did.
not lying. She did like 20 damage to it, didn't she?
No, she did enough to torpor it, not enough to ash it.
No, fair enough.
But she torpedoed it.
She torpedoed Zulu, man. I'm impressed.
Just to be fair, it may have come down to luck on that one, but it's not something I've ever done before.
It's rare to see a Toreador downplay their own achievements.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would not recommend doing that in court, but if you wish to do it with me, I don't mind.
But yes, that is something that I did, and of course you were there when the altercation with Helena happened.
Amaternal nor specs. Are there any obfuscated individuals around me?
Just the Nosferatu.
Excuse me.
Because she mentioned the H word, and that's kind of a big deal.
There's no one else obfuscated around you.
Okay, there's probably a Giovanni ghost though. Fucking Ambrosino. Oh, he knows there's a ghost following him because he's been told. So he's just gonna. So the moment she begins to mention, yeah, no, he'll just put a finger up to her mouth and stop her very quickly, celerity level quick.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. When we spoke with Portia last.
Francis looks a bit exasperated.
I'm sorry.
She's probably fine, Francis.
You should call your Uncle Ambrosino more often. He worries.
Francis is just immensely paranoid. To be fair, Morpheus's sheer presence probably just banished the ghost back to wherever the hell it came from.
Probably. Question, just a quick question, because the newspaper is sitting probably on like a desk or something, so I'm not sure if you can notice it with Auspex.
A newspaper? He could notice a newspaper pretty easily.
The newspaper. Evan knows what I'm talking about.
As a matter of fact, yeah, Francis kind of can, because he's seen its light before. There's a newspaper sitting on her table that is has a much weaker aura that is reminiscent of Aishar's glass sword, but not nearly as potent.
Okay, he looks at it with a sort of strange, suspicious look. It's almost a glare. He narrows his eyes.
She actually looks at like follows his eyes to what he's looking to, and she just kind of motions to the newspaper to just say, "What is it?" Something wrong?
Yeah. What is that?
It's a newspaper that Uncle Ambrosino left on the train the night we went to talk with Stalheim about the Sabbat before the battle at Waterford.
Something's wrong with it.
I mean, it's in Italian. Of course there's something wrong with it. And she'll actually she'll get up and she'll pick up the newspaper and bring it back over. I mean, and she'll unfold it and she'll just show Francis it's just a newspaper.
Francis, do you speak Italian?
I don't, unfortunately.
It appears to be, it is from sometime in the mid-20s. Actually, as you look it up, if you Google the date, it was released on the day of Black Friday, also known as the Great Wall Street Crash.
I mean, I've just been reading it to kind of teach myself Italian because it's always good to know Italian.
What does it say?
Question. With Auspex 3, you can do view spirit touch, right?
Yes.
What's the dice pool on that?
Spirit's touch? I will look at Bishop because he will tell you much quicker than I will.
Please.
It's perception plus empathy. What Spirit's Touch does, it basically gives you a bit of information about the item and the relationship to its most important owner. The difficulty is entirely up to the ST. It basically depends on how strong the emotional resonance is on the item.
I'd like to give it a try. Can I burn a willpower for that? I'm only doing this out of mainly curiosity.
This may get willpower rollsy.
I mean, I don't have a lot of willpower left, so.
Willpower rolls, you said.
God damn it, Bishop! Why?
I understand, Evan. It's fine.
I am that guy today.
I secretly just try to direct Evan's Evan's cruelty to other people, so he slowly forgets about me. That's the real ploy here.
And Peter thinks there's favoritism going on with me. Ha.
Okay, let's keep that scene.
Sorry.
Not in scene.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, to be fair, if somebody actually watches to like 15 minutes into a scene just to hear us diss someone, then by God, congratulations, we do this in a lot of scenes.
Sorry.
This is also true to an extent.
That was tactless. Sorry.
But yeah, I tell you what, roll me your. What is the roll again?
Perception plus empathy difficulty is up to you.
Okay, it is going to be difficulty 7, and you have 3 dice.
Can I burn a willpower for it?
No.
Okay, so 3 dice.
You in theory can, but you're going to be at stupidly low willpower.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Just the 3 dice then.
Don't do this to yourself.
All right. Hey, Charlotte. So as you spirit to touch it, that's nice. That's nice. You're walking up a flight of stairs. Everything's nice. You're walking. You're on a roof.
Okay, walking. I'm on a roof.
You're walking. You walk over the edge of the roof, and you're falling.
No, I scream. I'm actually gonna grab Francis and kind of brace myself.
There you go. You have spirits touched the thing.
What the fuck? Somebody jumped off a roof. Somebody jumped off a roof. What the hell? What the fuck is this thing? Okay. Alright then. That was really uncomfortable.
Why is it like the sword? Oh my god, it's like the sword.
What do you mean? Is she saying this in character?
Yes.
Yeah.
What sword? Whose sword?
I once possessed a sword made of hundreds of souls. It possessed a similar resonance to this, but less potent. This is not the same degree of.
Is this like a necromancy thing?
This is made out of souls.
So it's a necromancy thing. Great. Okay. That probably explains why Uncle Ambrogino had it. Okay.
And I gave one having hundreds of people inside the Giovanni, of course I did.
Okay. I mean, all right then. She's gonna fold the newspaper back up and put it on the side table next to her. Right then. Okay. She's actually kind of like trying to shake off the fact that she just jumped off a roof. So
I don't know why he gave it to you. I don't know what it's.
He didn't give it to me. He left it on the seat. I took it.
Why? He left this on the seat. Why?
He left it on the seat. I don't know.
There's no way he didn't do that deliberately.
I mean, it's very likely.
You can actually kind of guess why he was in a hurry when he left. Like he was in a significant hurry.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess he seemed like he was in a hurry and he just left it on the seat. I don't necessarily know that he's remembered about it, but I've got it now. Whatever it is, this thing, newspaper made of souls. That's not the weirdest thing I've said today.
We should take this to Katrina.
I mean, I'm supposed to be going and seeing her pretty soon. Do you want me to take it to her then?
If this is possessed of, if this thing is composed of spirits, she may be able to communicate with them.
Okay, but why would she want to?
Because she'd want to help them, because she's a good person.
That's fair. Okay, I mean we can take it to her, but I want to keep the newspaper.
Charlotte, I'm fairly certain that thing's composition is contingent upon those souls remaining fused together.
I mean, can we release the souls from the newspaper?
I don't think it works like that. I think newspaper are the
Is
souls.
the souls?
I'm not an occultist. I'm not a necromancer, but
I mean,
I had a weapon that worked similarly to this, so I can only assume it's not. It could be something else.
I mean, I guess we can talk to Katrina about it. I don't really know anything about
You know what?
necromancy. All of my occultic knowledge is mostly biblical.
I'm going to. You know, Francis is going to hold up the newspaper, and he's going to turn on. He's now going to start scanning for race.
Remember, you need necromancy. You need necromancy or a very specific rank 3 thaumaturgy ritual to see rates.
What's the rank 3 one?
Mirror of True Sight.
Oh yeah.
It expressly says you can see ghosties.
I mean, I can see ghosties with aspects too.
No, you really can't. But you actually need. You can only tell if something is a ghost if it's materialized.
Okay.
You can't see through the shroud.
Okay.
I mean,
Though you do in theory know that there's a ghost standing right behind you. You could always ask him to materialize.
I mean, did Francis actually say that there was a ghost or wraith following him around?
I think Francis is well aware at this point. Some people, Katrina informed him that there's some asshole calling in Peacock Man. But no, Francis will kind of turn around.
Yeah, Charlotte's gonna like point a finger and be like, "Ask your friend."
By all means, if you're still present. And suddenly the scene is going to go from very emotional to very awkward as he manifests and just starts yelling Peacock Man.
In Uncle Ambrogino's voice, right? Right, Evan? Right?
It's not actually in Uncle Ambrogino's voice, but yes.
Damn.
What's wrong with you? Do you want to be a decent human being or not? God damn it. God damn it, Charlotte. Why? Why do you do this to me?
Because I've started the Ambrogino Giovanni fan club, that's why. You'll remember, since this scene is happening before the fight, what Charlotte was wearing at the fight.
I can't believe you've done this.
I mean, you should not expect things from me at this point.
Fine.
Oh, look! Ebenezer Scrooge!
Ciao, bambini. Hello. I must. I'm so sorry. You asked to see me.
Yes.
He literally just kind of appears.
I am surprised you are still present.
I'm not allowed to leave, you see.
Charlotte's gonna hold up the newspaper very casually, like very nonchalantly, and she's like, "What is this?"
That is a newspaper.
I think it's more than just a newspaper, friend. Can you I don't know necessarily how. people like
my
you
name is.
operate.
Where are my manners? My name is Giuseppe.
Nice to meet you, Giuseppe. I'm Charlotte, and you are in
Um,
my home currently. Um,
you wouldn't happen to have a small teacher of wine for an exhausted old traveler.
oh, of course. And Charlotte will walk over to a table and ring a bell, and her ghoul will come in, and she'll say, "Wine, please." And she'll ask Giuseppe, red or white.
Oh,
And
right, of course. Many thanks.
and
It's. Oh, I'll be quiet.
it's okay, it's okay. And she'll just kind of wave her ghoul off to go get to bring wine. Do you want a glass? Would you like a glass?
Oh, that would be lovely.
And she'll tell her ghoul a glass, please.
When it's
And
brought up, it's
she'll
rather interesting. What you see him do is he puts his hand on the wine and he puts his hand through the wine, and in some way, even though the wine does not leave the glass, it is in some way diminished.
she'll actually say if she'll offer Giuseppe a seat if he'd like to sit.
Oh, I would be delighted. It's so nice to be considered a person. Normally, it's Giuseppe do this, Giuseppe do that, Giuseppe, Giuseppe, Giuseppe.
Oh well, I'd like to extend my hospitality to those who are in my home.
Oh, it's needless to say, so it was nothing personal. You understand? I was. It's not something I necessarily wanted to do per se.
No, I believe we're both in a rather awkward situation.
Yes.
Charlotte will actually laugh if you reflexively screams "Peacock Man" at Francis.
But needless to say, how is it that Giuseppe can be of any assistance?
Um, well,
I
mm,
We were curious about this newspaper. It appears to have a similar sort of resonance to a very particular artifact I once found, which was comprised of, well, people's souls.
Oh, no, you misunderstand. Oh, thousand apologies. However, this is not made of her souls, as you would understand it. No. This is it has been bathed in necromantic energy. So I think of it like a power source for the avid necromancer. This one's not very powerful or interesting. More than likely, I suspect this was issued on the day of the stock exchange collapse in the 1920s. I anticipate it rather much went up as it came down, if you understand me.
I do, I do, I very much do. I experienced that.
Yes. So this is just a minor little necromantic trinket. You could
Right.
give it to Giuseppe.
I think I'll keep it for the time being, but thank you for the offer.
Or
I don't know. I would be willing to trade if it found a way if it managed to empower you enough so that we would be able to separate. No offense.
oh, none taken.
I mean, does it have the potential to do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh well. And Charlotte will look at Francis and she'll say, "We can find out, and if it's worth enough to you, it's yours." But for the
But
time being, I will keep I will hold on to it.
oh, by all means.
Mm.
Hmm. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Well, I just realized I'm going to be heading into We're going to be heading to that place soon. If you have to follow me, that means you're going to be coming with us, I guess.
Oh, well, Giuseppe's been in worse places. He hasn't, but that's not what he thinks.
Charlotte's just gonna she's just gonna wave the newspaper at Giuseppe.
Oh, you're giving me this.
No, I'm not. Your voice changed.
Oh. I beg your pardon?
It sounded like his voice changed to sound like
What?
Ambrogino,
Sorry.
but I could be.
No. Giuseppe was asking if you were giving it to him because you were wiggling at him.
No, I was just waving it at him. Like, hi, Ambrogino. I have your newspaper. Because I'm assuming
Ambrogino's not here, though.
It sounded like he was.
No, that's Giuseppe.
Okay, well, whatever.
Show
Anyway.
the poor race some respect.
What was that?
Show the poor race some respect. They get so little of it after this.
I gave him wine. I offered him a seat.
I mean, Morpheus would like you to give it to him.
Ooh.
You're tugging at my heartstrings here, Evan.
Ooh, that's dirty.
You could ask Giuseppe how long he's been a slave.
I've been in your position. Here you go. I'm gonna hand him the newspaper. I'm trying to give reason for my humanity to go up, okay?
Oh, don't. I will actually say something at the end of the scene. Okay. But as you give it to him, you'll see something drain from out of it, and you'll see Giuseppe kind of nod his head, and he says, "I can go. The chain, she is broken."
Oh, congratulations! That worked out much better than any of us expected.
Okay, is the newspaper still intact, or is it?
Yeah, it's just an ordinary newspaper.
I'm taking the newspaper. I want that newspaper.
I assume I detect no more resonance on it?
No.
Oh.
Although Giuseppe got much stronger, and you can now see him as he's on this side of the gauntlet, or the shroud, rather.
Oh, congratulations. I'm not really sure what to say. We just met.
No, in theory, I've been following you around for about the last 3 months.
Yes. I have to keep reminding myself. That's awkward.
You're welcome, I suppose. I mean, I've been where you've been.
I can go and find my family.
Oh.
I wish you luck.
You know what? It's been 3 months, but we've only just met. It was a pleasure. I'm. Well, you already know my name, but Francis. You'll actually go to shake Giuseppe's hand.
Giuseppe will shake it back. For the record, he is physically tangible. You can shake his hand.
Charlotte will offer him another glass of wine. And
when a ghost manifests on this side of the shroud, if it wishes to, it can become pretty physical. But he will say, "It is pleasure. Needless to say, I must be off. I have rather a long distance to go. I must return to the necropolis in Milan and see if I can find my bambini."
Oh,
I wish you safe travels.
Yes, stay safe, and well, if our paths cross again, I hope it's a positive. I hope it's a good occasion, a better occasion.
Oh, thank you very much, and he will prove out. I think that is a nice place to end the scene.
It really is.
Me too.
Thank you for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another Scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.